Yeah, the picture's me looking at a blank chair. Pointing to a blank chair. You're live.
It's always so warm here.
Hello, everybody. We need a better webcam. It needs to have focus. I don't know how you get it to focus on us, not on the laptop and what have you. But it's all good for the one person that is now on the live stream.
Which is probably Bangkok.
Nah, I think it's just us. It's counting us ourselves as one person. Now we've got 4 people on the live stream. Say hello on the old live stream chat if you are watching on YouTube, folks. And we will start this episode of Planet Sky FF. You ready?
No.
It's normal. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Planet Sky FF, the show each and every week where James and I get a little bit detailed around Sky Fantasy Football and try and chase £50,000. How are you?
I thought we only dreamed about it. I'm fine, thanks, mate.
Yeah, it's still dreaming about £50,000, but you never know.
I do know it's not this year.
Stranger things have happened. Leicester have won the league in the past, 5,000 to 1 shot. It's unlikely to happen, but you never know.
I suppose I'm a shorter price than that.
Once again, we are live streaming with Man Child's Holiday. So shout out to all of you that are on the live stream. Ricky Saunders is on it again. Ricky, have you got a job or what's going on? Where can you download Sky FF? That's from Sibisi. Sky FF, you can play online, but you've got to be in the UK to play it, which is why there's obviously a lot fewer players because it's I think there's cash prizes involved. It's got to be regulated.
You've got to have a Sky Bet account. It's interesting. Me and Ricky went up to Wolves on Sunday, and we were talking about the Sky game quite a bit. Ricky doesn't play.
He doesn't.
I said to him, "You've got to play this game next year," and he will.
I think it's really good. There was a few people that I was chatting to. Sammy was one at the meetup. Who listens to all of the shows, including Sky FF, but doesn't play Sky FF. He's like, I just find it interesting to listen to you have a chat. But I started explaining the kind of 5 or 6 key differences. And I just literally, it was a case of if you have the time to think long-term, play it. If you're one of the people that dives in, week out, and on a Thursday or Friday decides what your moves are going to be for that week, then forget about it because you can't really play this game that way.
I really started thinking about what I'm doing next season.
Yeah.
So next season I'm having 2 teams.
Yeah, I didn't bother with 2 this year.
And I didn't either because I know a lot of the guys will have 2 teams. At the end of
why not? It allows you, right?
Gives you 2 shots. I decided what I want to do with it next year is I'm going to pick essentially a dead team to start the season.
Yeah.
And only change anything in it. I'll obviously do the captains and that. And only change it if I've got long-term injury or something like that. With the intention of using it as a cup team.
A cup team?
Yeah, because the cup starts this week.
Yes.
Well, for those who were in the preliminary round, it started last week. And the cup is £1,000 to the winner.
Fair play. Better than nothing.
But the amount of dead teams out there.
Cover
yourself off properly.
Yeah. And look, it's game week 20, so you'll roughly, if you save all of your transfers, you have 2 a week throughout the season. That's pretty decent.
You've only
some
got
weeks
to look
you won't
at
want to use
some of the ownership numbers to get an indication of how many of these teams are dead or burned all their transfers. Do you know who the most owned forward across the game is at the moment?
Aubameyang?
Nope. Keep guessing. Just keep guessing.
Aguero?
Nope.
Mane?
Nope.
Most owned? Pookie?
Nope.
Rashford?
Nope.
Kane?
Nope.
I have no idea.
Sterling.
Raheem, eh? Raheem Sterling.
His ownership in the top 1,000 is
low.
Very much so. But yeah, he's the most owned forward in the game at the moment,
wow.
Which I think gives you a picture. Of look, Sterling's the sort of player. If you've burnt a lot of transfers early doors, there's no point bunging him in and out. And there was obviously a period early on where it was like, got to get him in, kind of.
Sorry, John, for the echoey audio. Where the live stream is picking up the audio from the laptop. Because we don't have an external mic, I might have to invest in a USB mic as well. Can you imagine 3 mics and 2 people? That would be fantastic.
Just blame Manchild for everything.
Yeah, of course. Ricky's on holiday this week. All right, fair play. Get it.
How was your game week anyway?
Everyone's entitled to a holiday. I have an admission to make.
You didn't even log in, did you?
No, I did log in.
Okay.
I didn't have a captain on Saturday.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm sure I logged in and did it as a set and forget on Vardy, but when I logged in afterwards, I had no captain on the Saturday, and I remember doing it even on the show. But obviously, I didn't do it because otherwise it would have saved it for whatever reason.
Did you make a transfer?
I made transfers on the Sunday.
You need to do it again. If you make a transfer, go and check it again.
Yeah, but the player that I had to put the armband on wasn't one that I transferred out.
Doesn't matter. Just get in the habit of when you make a transfer. It even says, it pops up, doesn't it? It says, make sure you check your captains. It does pop up and say that. Yeah. Get in the habit of doing it.
So I ended up with no captain, unfortunately, on Saturday, 7 points, because it was Vardy. So yeah, I would have ended up on 92, but I still had a 2,000 place rise from 23k to 21k, 85 points. Fairly happy with that. But ultimately, the game was a disappointment because I'd planned to make 4 moves over the weekend to get away from the Liverpool guys that I had and give me the captaincy coverage on Monday. Talking about Monday, I brought in Martin Kelly as a direct replacement for Tomori, 2 points, so nothing special there. I moved away from Trent Alexander-Arnold and Sadio Mane for Kane and Ali, and they both disappointed. And I bought in Rashford, who still picks up 5 points. But Rashford came in for Mane. Vardy, yeah. But he did get 5 points. Not too bad as a captaincy return. But other than Maddison, Mount, Aubameyang, all blanked. Nice return from Baldock and a good clean sheet and save points from Edison as well.
Yeah, at least you got something off Edison, I suppose.
85 is not bad. Not bad at all, but could have been 92.
It's okay. I think with 4 transfers made there,
I wanted 100 plus. It was the fact that all of the transfers bar Rashford got me nothing.
You've got KDB.
I've got KDB. 23 points. He's not getting anywhere. Yeah, so for 4 transfers to come out with nothing was a disappointment, real disappointment. But apart from that, at least it's a green arrow, and I'm still ready to rock and roll. I've got no transfers planned for this week. And this week, remember, for everybody, is a double game week because we've got all of the Boxing Day fixtures as well, bar Man City, who are not playing on Boxing Day. So most of my players, I'll end up with quite a few. Most of my players will play twice this week. However, I'm not making any transfers this week.
Well, you've already gone the Kane Rashford route, haven't you? So Spurs United coverage in there. That means presumably Aubameyang sticking around for you.
Aubameyang sticking around, and he's captain on Saturday.
Okay.
Followed by Rashford on Sunday, and Harry Kane will get the armband on Boxing Day.
Okay.
As it stands at the moment.
Interesting. We're going to something to say on the bubble game week as such. I'm really not looking at it that way. I'm really looking at it as 2 separate game weeks. So the fact that Manchester City playing on a Friday night, because the game runs Friday to Thursday, falls into Man City then having a treble game week. I'm just not looking at it that way.
No.
Really looking at it as the game week fixtures as such as in real terms, match day fixture, if you will. So these are Champions League terms.
Yeah. You didn't tell everybody how you did. What did you do last week? 100 points?
I didn't want to show off, did I? I did get exactly 100, yeah.
That's decent.
2 transfers made. I mean, there was a little bit of fortuitous in it, but essentially my blankers were Mason Mount, who, just in case if I forget, as I've said on previous podcasts this week, I think will start for Chelsea this week, and I think Pulisic is the bigger risk. John McGinn, who's had a very quiet spell, but Villa about to walk in some very good fixtures.
Yeah.
So that stays at the moment. And I need to make a choice in the coming days on Aubameyang, who's my only other blanker, whether he goes out Saturday or am I going to hold through further? And we'll talk about that a little bit in a bit. But otherwise, I had some good points. So I made 2 transfers over the weekend, getting a clean sheet from Trent, assist from Mane, and then I moved to Mane to Rashford on the Sunday and captained Rashford. And I did go ahead with Lewis Dunk on the Monday night, who did hit me passing tier, could have hit me a shot tier as well. The Brighton guys, I think Burn could have had a big haul as well. That's probably the slight regret looking back on it. Actually burned through tackles and matched it for a lot of a cheaper price. But I went with what I explained last week. It was going to be a short term, so I didn't have to force the cheaper price of Burn.
Yeah.
What was you looking at?
I was looking at Henderson getting a penalty save.
I'm just about to explain this.
Penalty save points for not saving a penalty. I get it. Penalty was missed, right? So that's fine. But it's funny that he gets penalty save for not saving the penalty.
So Dean Henderson picked me up 14 points from Saturday.
Yeah.
Which was nice because I've kind of been regretting not going through with the Gator move when I made the choice between the two a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
7 points for the clean sheet, 2 for the appearance, 5 for the penalty save. The awarding of the penalty save is first to clarify, it's not a mistake. It's clearly in the rules that the goalkeeper does not have to be involved. Essentially, if the penalty is not converted, the goalkeeper will pick up points as a save. So Jack Grealish hit the bar, Henderson gets the extra 5 points. That's a ridiculous rule.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of it, and it should never obviously influence the sort of decisions you would make. Yeah, I wasn't aware. Ridiculous. Pereira and Siyunku got me 4 points respectively, picking up tier bonuses as they so often do. From Wan-Bissaka had the most tackles in the league at the weekend. I feel like I'm one of the few live guys who's kind of kept him around for quite a while. 3.6% ownership in the top 1,000 and walking into some nice fixtures now for Manchester United. KDB the 23-pointer, which could have been so much more.
Mental.
Vardy 14 points. Sides captains on the Saturday. The irony about De Bruyne is, I think a lot of us were moving this weekend from the Liverpool assets to be it Rashford, Kane, Son, Ali, whatever. And I think then took the captaincy with it. Whereas I think a lot of us would have busted it on Kevin De Bruyne earlier in the week. Yeah. And suddenly you're doubling that 23 points. So anybody who did hang around and captain KDB on the Sunday, very well done. I'm not sure if the only move I would consider making this week surrounds Aubameyang.
Right.
We will do a longer podcast next Tuesday on Christmas Eve to look at the Boxing Day, the 28th, and New Year's Day fixtures all in one go. So we're going to kind of attack this very much just from looking towards this weekend. Saturday's really tough. Where do we start with the captaincy here?
Well, that's one of the biggest questions. It's coming from Adam Byram 91. Dan Cox wants us to talk about it as well. Who is the best captaincy option for this Saturday? A lot of us have held Aubameyang for ages because of this game and not knowing who to captain. So I don't see why I'd move away from Aubameyang now, actually, other than the fact that Arsenal are garbage.
I've seen a few people say on Twitter, I've held him this long, I have to captain him. I mean, that's definitely not the case.
No, I agree with you on that.
You have to look beyond that if your opinion has changed. He's one of the best options, clearly. I think you could make a good argument that there's another player in the same fixture if you own Richarlison, who's worth looking at because Arsenal defensively are shoddy.
And he's always picking up tier points for various, whether it's tackles or shots, he's picking up one of the
regularly, yeah. The rest of the fixtures is a crapshoot. I think in hindsight, I wish had gone to Maupay Monday, which is easy to say because he was the highest scoring player in the fixture. I think if I'd gone Maupay, I'd captain him again this weekend.
Against Sheffield United.
Which is a big call with their away record, but I think that's optional. If you have Jimenez in your team, is a shout. Obviously, away to Norwich, I would not recommend Adama Traore for a captaincy. And then, of course, you've got the City-Leicester fixture. I think I'm going to captain KDB on Saturday.
Over Aubameyang?
Yeah.
At that point, sell Aubameyang, surely.
Well, I will on Sunday. I think it's a better protection play to go KDB.
Okay.
And that's what I'll be basing my decision on. But I haven't decided that for certainty. If there was some sort of clarity with Everton and Arsenal from the managerial position one way or the other, that might tempt me a little bit more. I mean, if Arteta's definitely in charge for Saturday, would probably tempt me more rather than take it away from me.
Yeah.
I think I will almost certainly sell Aubameyang on Sunday. And then for me now, it would be going to Spurs.
Yeah, I'm not convinced on that necessarily. I mean, everyone's got their own strategy. I'm going to keep it on Aubameyang on Saturday, in my opinion. I will keep him for the Boxing Day fixture against Bournemouth because I'm in a different boat, right? I've already got Harry Kane, and then he's on my list to go. And I was looking at getting back in a Manchester City striker, which if Aguero's fit, could be Aguero, and if he's not, then it'll be back to Raheem Sterling.
One of the things that's convincing me to sell Aubameyang Sunday is twofold. One, although I'm not desperate to dive in for Spurs for that fixture on Sunday, although now favourites in the betting markets, obviously there's the extra game gain. I also think there's a big question mark about Aubameyang at Bournemouth on Boxing Day. And the reason for that is their Christmas period of fixtures. So it's Everton this weekend, following Bournemouth it's Chelsea, following Chelsea it's Manchester United on New Year's Day. It's not the easiest run. We sure Aubameyang's going to play all four of these. Lacazette's sitting and waiting in the wings.
Yeah, I mean, with the managerial change about to happen, I don't think we can rely on anything at the moment. He's just their best striker, and if he's playing in the middle with Martinelli and Pepe either side, then I think he will play. Obviously, everybody in your squad could get rotated over the Christmas period, so I'm happy to hold him until the Bournemouth game, but after that, I'm not going to.
And that's part of my point. I think there's a possibility he doesn't play at Bournemouth. And then at this period, it's a choice for me, Kane or Son, and I've not made it. And I think from the value perspective, looking a little more detail into the shot tiering, the amount of shots that Son's had. Son's had more shots this season than Kane.
Yeah.
That I should go to Son. But I feel the reliability over this period of Kane and the fixtures and the fact there are attractive away fixtures really makes me want to lean to Kane.
I went with Kane instead of Son because of that. Pretty much because of that. I would rather own Son than own Kane if all things being equal. But I just think Harry Kane, money's no object for me at the moment in this game. I've got enough money to get the players I want. So that's why I've gone with Kane, because of the reliability. And he does like to tear up over Christmas. He has in the past, as long as he's fit. So yeah, Spurs coverage is good. On Saturday, when you go into the app, you can filter your team by who is playing on that day. I mean, I've got Aubameyang, De Bruyne, then Maddison, and then Keddy, Soyuncu, Baldock, Edison. I'm not picking any of those four. So it's really De Bruyne or Aubameyang to keep it on Aubameyang. And I don't really want to be burning any more transfers than I have in the previous week now.
I think that's what it's going to come down to for most people Saturday is De Bruyne or Aubameyang.
Sunday's a little trickier. If you buy Kane on Sunday, you've got Kane or Rashford.
100%
Rashford away at Watford. And then you've got Boxing Day where, again, Kane and Rashford both have home fixtures. You've got Brighton or Newcastle now. Brighton at least will come out and play. So you'd think that there'll be more space for you guys in behind, whereas Newcastle will sit in deep, and that might not leave enough space for Rashford, which is why I'm favouring Kane against Brighton, even though Brighton are a better side than Newcastle, because you'll get more opportunities, whereas Newcastle could really make it tough for Manchester United.
Could. A lot of injuries at the moment, Newcastle.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's difficult at the moment, but I think Kane over Rashford for that one.
I would at the moment be Rashford Boxing Day at the moment.
But it could change. Kane bangs in a couple at the weekend and suddenly...
And then I think could really look at Kane for the 28th New Year's Day. But we'll discuss the Christmas impact far more on next week's podcast. I feel like I can understand. Are you saying you're going to carry Aubameyang through then just till Boxing Day?
Yeah, and then after the Bournemouth game, I'll be moving off.
To where? What's your thinking?
I've got two options. If I want to hold Harry Kane, then I'll bring in Jamie Vardy back. And if I don't want to hold Harry Kane, then Kane will go for Vardy. And from Aubameyang, I'll move to a Manchester City striker.
I said this last week. I can't believe you're going to sell Kane Norwich away.
Yeah, the likelihood is that I'm not going to sell him.
Yeah.
Which means that rather than going to Sterling or Aguero, I'll be going from Aubameyang to Vardy, and then I'll have Kane, Vardy, Rashford as my front three, which is fine.
If you hold Aubameyang to Boxing Day and no further, there is still a game that can be made on the fixture, which is with obviously City the following night, so play on the 27th away to Wolves. Aguero might be back. could be a huge differential for you if you decide to go down
it's Sterling or Aguero. I would, if Aguero was fit, I would really like to get him back in then.
Be a tempter, but minutes they're going to play the 27th and the 29th City.
Yeah,
and with them, right? I mean, there's no guarantee KDB will play those 2 games. Tough one. I actually think this whole period over Christmas is going to be a lot lower scoring than we anticipate. I think, when we look at the game weeks with double game weeks and triple for City the following week, then the scores are going to be high. But when you actually break it down into 4 game weeks, I don't think it's going to be that high. I think averaging out at sort of towards 70 per game week. So if we took the 4 match days,
140 and 140, something like that. Yeah,
280 over the 4 game weeks would be really good. Whereas I think ordinarily you wouldn't be pushing for more.
Yep.
Rotation is going to fight here a bit, and that's obviously a key point you need to consider in any transfers you make at the moment. Aubameyang Boxing Day really concerns me now. I think.
And just for clarity, you're talking about concerns you in terms of will he play as opposed to will he score?
Not will he play? Will he start?
Will he start?
Just feel like Lacazette can't be in a position. If they're going to stay at the moment, if they don't appoint, they look like they're going to stay with this 4-2-3-1. Lacazette's not going to be sitting on the bench for 4 games in 10 days.
No, I think he might have to. That's life, right?
It's too good a forward for that.
Should we do some of these Twitter questions?
Right,
and let's jump in on the live stream as well. For those of you on the live stream, sorry I haven't been reading out the comments. We're not used to this live streaming comment stuff, really. Patrick Lawson got 119 points this week, 50 points behind you now, James.
Someone's behind me?
There's a lot of people behind you.
Says Suj.
Closing the gap slowly. No questions from our friend FPL Potter, who I have a bet of a pint on between now and the end of the season. I think it's just whoever finishes higher. But I want to thank Sujan Shah for the planner, my little spreadsheet that I sent him. It's helped me loads. Big 10k rise this week. It didn't flipping get me a 10k rise, did it? So
but what rank was he? 100k?
Yeah, I don't know. I did ask the question, how many points did you get and what's your rank? So Jamie, do tweet in and let me know, because going from 100,000 to 90 is a bit easier.
6,300 now.
It's not bad at all.
Coming, y'all.
Yeah. Adam Byron was asking about the best captaincy option, which we have already discussed.
It's not easy.
No,
really not easy. But I think it will come down to a shot between Aubameyang and Kevin De Bruyne. Dan Cox will put it out as a vote on Twitter, and we'll all go with whatever gets done, I suppose.
Yeah. Heskibo, our friend who is riding high up in the top 100, wants to bring in a Spurs striker this Sunday to keep until the end of January, the overhaul. Kane or Son. Again, we've spoken about this. I'm with Harry Kane, but this is it could go either way. Son's capable of hauling in games, so I don't really feel like confident that he's the one to go to necessarily, but I'm going with Harry Kane. I get the feeling you are too.
11 attacking returns for Kane this season, 9 of which are goals. 13 for Son, 5 goals, 8 assists. Shots on target this season, Kane at 16, Son at 17. That's the one that really stands out. Son's also 3 man of the matches to Kane's 1. I think he would pick Kane on most of those at the moment if he's playing well. Just feel these fixtures are so right for Kane. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't have a comment, but James does watch his Spurs week in, week out. So if James is saying Harry Kane, then I'm going to go with Harry Kane. Our friend Tartan Espanol, who's been doing particularly well in FPL as well as Sky FF. Richarlison is pretty close to the top scoring midfield and he regularly hits tier bonus. Is there any desire from either of you to get him in the coming weeks? I always have half an eye on Richarlison at the moment. Now doesn't feel like quite the right time.
No, I think there's obviously a little bit of an unknown with Richarlison. It's half decent, 15% in the top 1,000 teams. I don't think he's being completely ignored or overlooked. Price of 10.2 is off-putting. It's worth noting as well that obviously he did have that run of good fixtures as well. Liverpool and Chelsea. The tackle tier stopped though.
He's been playing further up, maybe, rather than in midfield.
Hasn't been any tackle tiers. Just looking back here, quite a while. Going back to Burnley, actually, back in early October. But he's been obviously hitting more shot tiers. So leveling it out. He obviously scored 3 goals consecutively in 3 of those difficult 4 fixtures. They do walk into a better run, certainly. Everton, the Christmas is okay. Arsenal at home, Burnley, then Newcastle, City, and then going up to the Overhaul, Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle. I need to see what's happening. If it's Ancelotti, he does tend to favour a front 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's watching wait for me. But I would say if you own him this week, I don't mind it going on him as captain. If you own him, I think that's okay. Like just because of Arsenal. Just on Overhaul, while we mention it, we should hopefully get some answers this week. But we think there's a possibility that West Ham and Liverpool will be rescheduled during the Overhaul period. Now, during the Overhaul period, you can obviously make unlimited transfers, a little bit like your FPL wild card. I don't know how that would work. Would you be able to transfer players during the fixture? So you just actually, while the game is in progress? Because it doesn't stop, does it?
No.
I don't know how that would work. Massive issues coming their way. Mr. Cox did a little bit of investigating, and he was told that if the fixture was on the Monday night, they would delay the Overhaul start until the Tuesday. There is no chance that fixture will be on the Monday. If it is in that midweek before the Overhaul deadline, it will be on a Wednesday or a Thursday. And I don't know what they're going to do. I really don't know what they're going to do.
I don't think they do, maybe, yet.
It's an absolute cluster for them.
Yeah, I wonder if that comes into their consideration when they're looking at televising fixtures and when to put games. Fantasy. I wonder.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Probably not, but
I wouldn't have thought so.
I mean, they've always got the opportunity to move the Overhaul.
I mean, I don't mind because if it's during the game and you just pick in the 11 players you can most afford during that's all right for me. You'll be at the game. That's going to be a big problem.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't know if the fixture is going to take place that week. So it's all very hypothetical. But if it is going to be, we're going to find out soon, and it's going to change things. Certainly going to change things. The one thing to say is if it does end up being at the end of Jan, fixture-wise, you're going to want that extra cover from them. No doubt about it from Liverpool. Obviously, I think most of us are probably going without for the Leicester fixture, aren't we?
Yeah, that's my plan at the moment, to just leave it and come back to it after game week 21.
What I'm probably going to do is go to Van Dijk on the 29th. I think that's what I'm going to do first, because Arsenal-Chelsea's the early 6 o'clock. No idea what their sort of team's going to be. With Liverpool playing at Leicester on the Boxing Day following this trip to Qatar, is there a chance he leaves Salah or Mane out? I might just go Van Dijk.
They had their rest a couple of weeks ago, though, so I don't think he's going to be dropping either of those two.
Well, you wouldn't think so.
No, because the next 2-3 games could decide the season. I think it's already decided, but it would genuinely really put it to bed if Leicester and City drop points in the next 2 by New Year and Liverpool make that gap even 3 or 4 points more. Then we really
Leicester have to beat Liverpool. That's part of the point, isn't it?
So that's why I don't think
if Liverpool go to Leicester and win.
I don't think he'll drop anyone after that. I don't know. Maybe that's the chance to do some rotation.
It's something we'll discuss in a bit more detail next week. I mean, Liverpool are going to rotate during those Leicester, Wolves, and Sheffield United fixtures.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind they'll probably rotate. I mean, they rotated at home to Everton in the league, so they definitely will in the cup fixture.
Yeah.
Then it's the Wolves fixture that's the danger one. And that's probably the day you want to go back to them. So I think I'll probably go back to Van Dijk, then wait for the team for Sheffield United and probably make a decision on Mane or Salah, then following the New Year's Day fixtures. That's my current thinking. Van Dijk's pulled away from Trent and Robertson and the points lately.
He has. Well, that double goal,
increased clean sheets.
That double goal Paul helped when he scored 2 the other week. And then also, obviously, 2 back-to-back clean sheets. All of a sudden, when the other 2 were
basically
missed
since
the
we
clean
had
sheet.
Since we had Cox on, Bangkok.
Yeah.
And I made the case for Trent against Van Dijk. Van Dijk's
really skyrocketed ahead.
So yeah, and I think it's another one. Then Van Dijk's never getting left out of that team.
Nah.
So that's probably the first one that I'll go back to actually. And that's why I'm going to do that at that stage, is why I didn't bother thumping down to Burn, because I'm probably just going to dunk back to Van Dijk.
Yeah. There we go. That's a wrap up of game week 19 in Sky FF. Don't forget, again, it's a double game week in Sky next week, where you've got not only the fixtures on the weekend, but your Boxing Day fixtures as well. So make sure you log in, set your captains, and if you are planning any transfers, leave it as late as possible. You can make your transfers all the way up to kickoff, but I wouldn't recommend that. Maybe 10 minutes before.
You can also pick your captains right up until kickoff as well.
Apparently so, yes. So do you know what's going to happen this season? No, it's not going to happen this season. But the worst thing that could happen this season was if I finished second, 20 points behind whoever finished first, and didn't have captains in 2 weeks. I'd actually probably stab one of my eyes. I think I'd deserve to stab myself in one of my eyes. There we go.
Those fine margins of the detail in this sort of thing, which are so critical.
Yeah.
I was walking to the ground at Molineux with Ricky and Bradley Parker and transferring Rashford while walking.
Can I see your leaderboard? So what I want to look at is your rank for the month. How are we doing for the month? 7,477. Not bad. I'm at 14,000 for the month, which is my highest month so far. 287 points. How many for the month?
How many points?
298. So yeah, exactly. That's literally the difference in my captain, isn't it? Here, so that would have halved my month rank. Fantastic. Good to know.
You're getting better, mate.
Slowly and surely.
You're getting better.
What do we have left this week? We've got Clash of the Correspondents coming at tomorrow for all of the listeners. Yeah, tomorrow being Thursday, depending on when you're listening to this.
If you're thinking cheeky about captaining Morpay or Baldock or Dean Henderson, you might want to have a listen. It's interesting because we talk quite a bit about Brighton and Sheffield United stylistically. Morpay is going to come back and bite me. I should have gone that way, you know.
I think he might be the move I make from Mousse this week. He's more and more standing out as actually, do you know what? If I want a slightly differential forward who's in form, Mopay's the one.
You're clarified you're talking about
FPL here, yeah. Potentially. So yeah, we've got Clash of the Correspondents with FPL Blade and FPL Seagull. No surprise for who they support, Sheffield United and Brighton. And then the final plan on Friday, where we'll run down North v South, differential team, and what our moves are and who our final thoughts on captaincy for the weekend is. I've got the armband on Jimenez at the moment.
I'll be Rashford in FPL as well.
There we go. Thanks for listening. Ciao for now.
Cue music, Suj.
Right, that's the end of the audio on the podcast. For all of you live stream people, we're still here. And no one's chatting away, though. Julian, I'm going to do 2 teams. Fan team is a way better than my fan team. Tinker it every day. Fair play. Guys, thanks for tuning in on the live stream. And we're not live streaming. We'll be live streaming again on Friday morning when we do the final plan, or Friday lunchtime, whichever we decide it's going to be. Ciao for now.
Don't have to say it this time.
Laters, dudes. Yeah, but people are saying bye to everybody.
Have a good day, everyone. Have a nice day.
Live.